And then came the cheesesteak shop.
Yes. Well, how did that come about?
And what point in the journey here?
So, who knows? I mean, probably a year and a half because it took so long to build. We had so many different things that we had to do and permits and everything else. It just came about where somebody, we were talking, me and Joey one day and, our other friend, and he said,
you're like 10 episodes in or something like this?
No, we were more like 20, maybe 30 actually.
Okay.
We went to Vegas. We went to Vegas for the Super Bowl, San Fran versus Kansas City.
I know that Super Bowl very well.
And our buddy who was there was like, what about a cheesesteak store? Joey's like, yeah.
Just out of nowhere?
Perfect location, yeah. That was it.
Just randomly in Vegas, hanging out.
Let's go back to Philly when we did. We got this spot we want to look at. I said, Joe, you're perfect. I can see it right now. Skinny Joey's Cheesesteaks. Joey's like, yeah, we'll get the wrappers with all my newspaper articles on it. We'll get the TVs for the podcast for them to watch.
Which I love that.
And we literally did it with, once again, knowing nothing.
Wow. Recipe development. Who developed the recipes?
Me.
No shit.
I would go in there, me, our manager, Eric Royer, doing great. We had like 3 tastings that we would do. And literally I would throw the meat on the grill. I've never worked in a kitchen like that. I know how to chop cheesesteaks. We're born and raised making cheesesteaks my whole life. Yeah. A little salt, little pepper, little garlic, add not too much of that, not too much of this. Caramelize the onions here.
Always.
Joey telling me from Florida, if he wasn't here, I think we should do it this way. Get opinions from, 20, 30 of our close friends. And that was it.
Wow.
Yeah.
You got the old Talk of the Town location.
Yes. So I grew up eating Talk of the Town.
You have an absolutely phenomenal location.
Yes.
For those who know, you're a couple blocks from the stadium. As soon as you get off the Broad Street
Walden
exit,
Bridge. Yeah.
it's right there. So incredible. It just happened to be available.
It was dead for like 6 years.
Was it?
And then Ace of Steaks came in and took over for Talk of the Town. I think it lasted like a year. And then another year went by and it was done. And then it was just laying there and that was it.
Wow. Okay. And then in terms of all that goes into opening a restaurant, you guys just figured it out? Did you have consultants, anything like that?
No, like it's crazy how we operate. It's so insane. Like if you think about it, like I say to myself all the time, like my head's spinning. This is crazy. But one thing I'll say about Joey, he's so confident in everything he does. He's always like, nah, we'll be all right. No, we'll be all right. Yeah. A week before the San Gennaro Festival in New York, we didn't even have a stand built.
Really?
He's just like, nah, we'll figure it out. It'll be fine. And we did. But with the cheesesteak store, like it was, who do you think is going to be a good worker? And I mentioned this kid, Eric. And I said, Eric, he worked at Chickies and Pete's. He worked at Del Frisco. Let's bring him in, get some ideas off of him. And then we just threw it all together and, word gets around. Hey, I want a job. All right, I'll hire you, but I have a friend who has a friend. And then one day I had a job fair and like 40 people showed up. And out of the 40 people, I got to be honest with you, I think like 30 are still with me.
Wow.
So it's cool. They love it. We take care of them, Joey walks around. He makes sure like everybody's okay. Make sure your family's all right. You need
the
anything.
Hospitality is top notch.
I'm going to tell you a story real quick. A worker of ours just came home, from jail. Great guy. I'm not going to say his name, whatever the case may be. He gets himself a nice car. You finally get on your feet, you get a nice car. Car breaks down 2 days later. Without even a rebuttal or us knowing or me even knowing what happened, I get a phone call from my mechanic who I use. Shout out Billy Rossetti, great. He says, Joey called me, wants me to fix the guy's car. Do you work? Joey paid for the guy's whole car. That's what kind of owner he is. You know what I mean? He makes sure everybody's taken care of. He's good like that.
And now you guys are opening up a second location.
Chichester, yeah.
When is that happening?
I would say we got another like 3-4 months.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
you
awesome.
Got the space picked out.
Everything.
Build out started.
I just saw a picture you guys just posted.
Yeah,
right?
they're going to start demoing it ASAP.
Wow,
That's amazing.
Congratulations.
Yeah, once all the permits go through, you'll be good.
You made a quick mention earlier, but when I showed up to get my first cheesesteak there, I thought the fact that you had the podcast playing in the interior, it seems like 24/7.
24/7.
I thought that was such a cool touch.
Yeah.
It's also just smart marketing.
Of course.
You essentially use, to speak in marketing terms for a minute, you use the cheesesteak spot as like kind of top of the funnel. That grabs the attention, the interest. You get them there. If they don't already know about the podcast, you tell them about it there.
Yeah.
After they eat the cheesesteak, then next thing you know, they're subscribed to the channel. They really get to know you guys.
We're there.
Builds brand affinity.
Yeah.
They know your personality. You're like, these guys are pretty cool. This is fun. This is exciting. That drives people to a conversion point, which is ultimately Patreon, where there's an upsell to do the gambling picks. I mean, it's a pretty
It's a sophisticated funnel, but it's it worked perfectly.
It works
And
perfectly.
using the cheesesteak spot's unorthodox as part of a marketing funnel or sales funnel, but it's just brilliant. And it's just, I love that it's not, so a lot of sandwich places would struggle if they were just a sandwich place. You have all these other avenues to monetize. A lot of podcasts would struggle if they were just a podcast, but you have the subscription. A lot of sports betting places might struggle, but you have all these other points of monetization.
We built a
along the way.
brand. It's a brand.
And you build a brand along the way.
That's it.
I mean, it's really kudos, man. Kudos.
From two guys that just were on the phone one day and said, "You want to do this?"
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, why not? Let's take a shot. Got nothing to lose.
So
Came
the
from
brand,
nothing.
So the brand Reese's, you mentioned San Gennaro. How was San Gennaro?
Great. Excellent time.
Yeah,
excellent. Sold a lot of cheesesteaks. Got a
I mean,
lot of
it's huge.
Yeah.
That feast is huge.
First time I was ever there.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, sold a lot of cheesesteaks. It did good.
Bitch.